Time to go north of the wall where they always treat the ladies with respect. What the hell are we looking at?
You see, Jartan?
Yeah, what are we looking at? Yeah, we're looking at our prime minister who actually had to have his vice prime minister to stand a little behind him so he didn't look as short as he actually is.
He's so adorable. You got a little mini dictator.
He's like a real person, only smaller.
Men are so fragile. Like,
Yeah.
you guys are so emotional. Like,
It's
let
ridiculous.
It go.
I'll see if I can find that picture, but it's just ridiculous because he's like a good 4 inches shorter than her, but in the picture he must be standing on like a milk box or something because it's just ridiculous. But
It looks
but
like
here's the joke.
Brandon Hodor.
So over the last
All right.
over the last year or so, we've had basically a fucking organized crime war going on in Sweden. And this is
Did you want to mention that when you was making all your Chicago jokes? Did you want to bring up your little gang war you got going on up there? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Pew, pew, pew,
I'm
pew.
doing it now because it's really fucking bad.
with bicycles.
Don't sound like
So-
it.
So in this gang war, over the last month, there has been 11 people that have been shot dead. One woman was killed in a bomb, in an explosion from a bomb.
They're using explosives?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
They're getting modern.
Guys, AR-15s are just easier.
Why
They're
are y'all using bombs and shit?
yeah, they've started
You need
because
some
they can't get
military-grade weapons?
You
Like,
have
we
C4?
got
no,
stuff.
like IEDs,
Oh, okay. I was
right?
like, these motherfuckers got bricks of C4. It is expensive over there.
No. Like it's
Don't
more
make rich.
IEDs, but
We're rolling in it.
Like pipe bombs and shit.
it's
Yeah.
quite extraordinary because,
Two
as I
bombs.
said, 11 people, one of which was 13 years old,
Ugh.
See?
Yeah.
and he was found in a forest area south of Stockholm. He was
Fucking grim.
13, shot in the head.
Oh, mate.
Oh, no.
Uh,
Trigger warning, everybody.
because the gangs over here has started to recruit basically child soldiers because they can't be penalized. We don't
Right.
have rules where you can penalize somebody as an adult until they're an actual adult, right? You have to be 18 years old to be tried like an adult. And if you're under 15, you can't be tried at all.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh,
There's no legal responsibility.
Yes.
Well, I
Wow.
guess you can, I don't think adding the legal responsibility changes anything, except for, I mean, so let's say a 14-year-old like robs a gas station or robs somebody on the orders of the dude.
Hmm.
And they rob the person, and then the cop immediately grabs him. Hey, you got the gun, you got the stuff. You're coming with me. What happens next? They just take him home?
So no, you do contact social services. There are safeguards in place. It's not like
Okay.
they're just going to take him home and anything. But you can't put him in front of a judge. There won't be a trial because
Okay.
if you're under the age of
Okay, I get you.
15,
Yeah. So there's not like a
If you-
criminal record thing, but there will be
Yeah.
there
will be
disciplinary
repercu-
actions.
yes, there will be disciplinary actions, but it won't be a criminal trial because you are not eligible. You're not at all
Legal
age.
responsibility.
Yeah, you can't defend yourself. So
Yeah,
No
as over here for context,
And you
it's-
can't
it's
be held
10.
legally responsible for your actions because of your young age, right?
right,
So,
and that's 18 over there.
like it's 15,
as
right,
he's
but-
10, like I just said.
but you can't be tried as an adult, right? You could still have a trial if you're over the age of 15, and you would still get a juvenile record, right?
Mhm.
So how old are you to drive? Oh, where you guys have that
18.
tractor thing?
18. Oh yeah, we got the tractor thing where you're
Yeah.
16,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
but it
stupid.
only moves at like 15 miles per hour. That thing. Yeah.
It's 17 in
It
the
just-
UK.
It makes the little popping like bubbles sound. Like,
You
No,
see
it
a
goes
little
down.
puff of smoke go up.
Please stop. Please stop. I'm really
All right, like I
Oh, no, I
want us
gotta
to be
pull
serious
over.
because
I
it's,
gotta pull over.
You got,
we
you
can-
got past
we
me,
can
got
joke-
past me. Go
we can
ahead.
joke all we want to do about the tractors, but we're actually talking about kids killing each
Yeah,
other in a gang
let's
war
go,
right now.
let's
So
go,
We had to
I'm
lighten
not
it up.
really
Yeah, we
in the
can't be-
mood for jokes, because this is
Yeah.
starting to get really bad, right? And at the same time, we have the Swedish Democrats and all of these right wingers over here saying it's because of the immigrants, but it's not because of the immigrants. It's because we've increased the wage gap. We've taken away social security. Yes, we do have a lot of refugees coming here over the last 20 years. That is true, but putting them in detention centers or in essentially what has been have become ghettos where they don't have a future, where they don't have
Mhm.
any prospects of actually, ever getting schooling or a job, has created this scenario. Not the fact that they're refugees or that they're brown skinned or from a different country. The reason this has happened is because we haven't done anything to help them. We just put them
Mhm.
Over there.
on this over there,
Yep.
and
It's a
everybody
dumping
together
ground.
and not integrated into our
Yeah.
community. And then we said,
Yep.
hey, good luck to you. Now go fuck off.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you're
Right.
you're isolating them, and then the people around them realize that they're being isolated, and so now you're more isolating them.
You've got a target on your back. We've got a similar thing going on over here with the small boats. And what's happened is all the capitalists of the owners of private hotels have said, yeah, we'll take them in, and then they shove these people in the hotels, and they put security around the hotels, and now that hotel has become a target for right-wing nutters to
Yeah.
want to attack these people because they've been othered straight away. But they're being othered by people that are taking the government coin to house them instead of like you said, Jartan, integrating them into like communities where they'll be known by their names, not just that lot.
Mhm.
You going back
Oh.
in your building.
Also,
Yeah.
the oldest argument in the book is like, well, they've been here for years and they don't even speak the language. Well, they don't because they haven't met anyone, or they almost haven't had any integration or
100% agree with you on that.
with somebody who actually speaks the Swedish language. So they only socialize with their own. The only people who lives in their apartment building are people who speak their own language that understands their culture. And then we go around going like, oh, this place has gone to shit. Well, we fucking put them there because we didn't want them in our nice white suburban neighborhoods. So we gave them that place, and we keep moving them about, right?
Yeah.
Why do you think we got rid of our black people?
Yeah.
So-
red.
And
what
now
was it? What
the
was it?
worst-
Red lining.
And now the worst
just-
thing that I've ever
we just
heard
don't want
has
it.
actually been put forward. They want the armed forces. They want the
Yeah.
actual military to go out in the street and help the police, right? And if
Mikey, does this sound familiar to you?
Ferguson, 2014.
It's
this
awfully sound-
and this has not worked anywhere because as it is by law right now, they are allowed to support, right, the police in certain special circumstances, but there are no circumstance where they are allowed to use force against civilian individuals.
And
They wanna
don't
change
have
that
the power
law.
of arrest, do they?
What?
They don't have the power of arrest either.
Well, not more than any other citizen, right? They can do a citizen's arrest, but so can I.
Mm.
right? Because we
can you say that last line again? Wayne talked over you.
Sorry.
The one about the force.
They're not allowed to use force, right? They are permitted to be supporting the police, but but if the support puts them in a situation where would risk having to use actual force against individuals, that would be a big no. So it's basically they would be support troops, right? They could put up barriers, they could put up roadblocks, but they are not allowed to enforce those roadblocks. That's the job of the police. And now they want to change that law. I don't want 18, 19-year-old conscript soldiers running around with fucking machine guns in the streets. It sounds like a very bad idea.
Yeah.
And
we've just got off GTA and we're going to be given a military assault weapon and round up people that we don't like.
And what makes this so scary is that the police in Sweden, because they have the zero tolerance against narcotics we still have that, right? They can still test your blood to see if you have any illegal substances in you.
That's why
and
I
as
can't
soon
go
as
there.
And if you have an illegal substances, you have to prove. The burden of proof goes the opposite way. You have to prove that you were in a country or a territory where that substance is legal. If you can't prove that,
Portugal.
You're fucked.
Everything's legal in Portugal.
Yes, but then you have to prove that you were in Portugal and that you ingested this substance while in Portugal. It's not like you're going to take out.
We're just going to do that. That's just easier that way.
Yeah.
First it was the polar bears.
So the
then
police
it was the permanent darkness. Now you're telling me they're gonna check my blood at the door?
So the Swedish police
are going to tell me birds are not real.
Yeah. So the Swedish police is spending all the resources on, finding somebody who had a blonde 2 weeks ago.
Mikey.
Because that supports the gangs. It's very important to take away their. This has never worked. The U.S. has done this through the war on drugs for 30 fucking years, and it didn't fucking work. The only time you actually
Not only that, we've been legalizing drugs.
That was the only way to do it.
You had to.
Sometimes, look, Sweden. Let me help you out here. Let me help.
The cartels were making all the money. Why don't we make all that money?
Right. All you got. Like at this point, Sweden, you got to get in the game, baby. You got to get in the game. You already have the pristine wildernesses. You can market that. You can use that as branding. Join us.
Perfect.
Join
Colorado
us.
did it.
Join us in the present. You have mountains there, the glacier water to feed the plants. Oh, you could have a whole new strain.
Your trees are huge.
Oh, it would be great. Just get on board. Because at this point, everybody's going to leave and it's going to be you and the gangs left. And then you won't know what to do because everyone will leave, even if it's their country and they want to live. Everybody has a point where they're just like, you know what? I could always come back.
Yeah. So basically, I'm just. The stupidity of the Swedish government at the moment is just astonishing, and the Swedish police must be the whiniest, most incompetent, backbound police force in the entire fucking world.
Still recovering from those riots.
Yeah.
Those bicycles.
It's just
they bounce like crazy.
Yeah.
They bounce right into your face.
I don't know what to say more about this, but we need to change the way that we think in Sweden.
As far as the gang shit goes, the lesson that Chicago could teach Sweden in its entirety is do not think for a second that I will cut off the head of the snake. No, you will not. You will create power vacuums and it will get worse. because then the sergeant at arms is now the captain, and then the next sergeant at arms is now the captain, and by the time you get to the end of it, no adults are in charge anymore. No one with a shred of responsibility or profit motive or critical thinking is in charge anymore. So don't just go around assassinating folk and disrupt you. There, you have to dismantle them without creating splinter groups and power vacuums, because it just gets worse. Because then they all get the same. Oh, I know how to do it now. Once the big guy goes down, oh, I can do it on my own. So then 6 more start. There's
power in numbers, and getting enough people to be against the bad is going to be a lot more beneficial.
Yeah.
So power to the people.
Exactly, and trying to get that revenue and breaking up the gangs by taking their money away by prosecuting one buyer at a time, it's not gonna work.
How about creating an environment where people don't want to be associated with these gangs or what they do?
These gangs are so far up, like the supply chain. Like you buy your cocaine or your pot or from,
guys, he doesn't actually know where to get all this stuff. It's just theory.
Hypothetical.
Yeah, it's just theory.
Yeah. From somebody that you know, or somebody who knows somebody that you know. But it all comes
that episode of that show. Remember, you were telling me what did they say? They said what?
Yeah, we're trying
we're
to save
clear.
your ass here. Trying to save your ass here.
What? But we
allegedly.
Yeah,
allegedly. Let's just everyone say allegedly.
The Super Allegedly show starring us, your stars, allegedly.
So yeah, I'm
we're your alleged hosts.
I'm really sad about this. I'm really fucking sad about this. It's really heartbreaking.
So who's are these gangs the ones that are bringing the drugs, or are these gangs just street gangs?
No, these are drug running gangs. So
legalize the drugs.
That's what I've been saying, but this is not a discussion that Sweden is ready for. So when politicians have even ousted the possibility of maybe we should look at this zero policy that we have, like no drugs on our streets, and it's not going to work. We've been doing it since the fucking 70s and it's not working. They become ousted by the party. Like they just get thrown out because Sweden isn't ready for that. They still believe that the only way forward is to have everything so illegal that nobody would buy it, but it's just not going to happen.
Doesn't work.
Like telling a kid no, right? It's like telling a kid no. Oh, don't go over there and press that button.
Oh, I gotta hit that fucking button.
Now they're intrigued, right? Yeah, it's like no, that's not how it works.
That's like
also
cover the button.
That's like American teenagers and alcohol. Like us and our alcohol at 21. That's why they're all fucking binge drinking at like 20 and 19.
That's why they're all hospitalized by the time
overdoing it. Because
by the time they're done with their first year of college is because they're instead of there's so much more like with the alcohol for college students. They all go out, they get drunk at their own little parties because nobody's there to tell them in a controlled system, right?
Yeah, like have a word, calm your tits. You're all right. You don't need to smash it.
Save some for later.
Yeah. So in that controlled system, when if in places like Europe where it is in controlled system, what you're drinking in your home by the time you're 10 years old.
Speak to the French about that. They're on the wine at 4.
Yeah.
It's not even
because it's a controlled system. You learn how to. You learn about proper proper drinking, responsible drinking. But then what you do with here is that by the time you're a fully fledged adult who has gone through shit in, the military, because you can be 18 when you join the military, you can get married by the time you're 18,
and not drink at your wedding.
And not drink at your wedding because that's illegal. You can have
you could go
children.
to war for your country when you're 18.
Yeah, you can. You can have children.
Here.
You can own homes. But by the time you're 21, it doesn't make any sense. So there is this need to change these puritanical laws.
Fundamentalist.
It's very fundamentalist. And what they do is they don't actually solve the problem. They actually create more problems.
Bigger, newer problems.
But Brenna,
and it's been studied for decades, this kind of shit. That's why we have to decriminalize.
But Brenna, it's all arbitrary numbers as well. Like, how many tiers have you got to go through before, in America, you can drive at what, 15?
16,
but
roughly.
Okay.
You can learn to drive at 15, but by 16 is when you can get your fully fledged license.
But you can't have a beer until you're 21.
Restricted.
Correct.
Right here, you can get married at 16 with your parents' permission. You can go to war at 16, right? But you can't buy fags, cigarettes in our country. Sorry if that word offends people.
Yeah.
But you can't buy cigarettes till you're 18. But the 21 number is completely just.
What's drinking age?
It's nothing. 18.
Okay, I didn't hear that one. And the thing is, it wasn't always 21. In the 80s, it was 18. And I think in Wisconsin, it's still 18.
And I think that was just through the high school thing, wasn't it? You couldn't have a drink when you was at high school, so they raised the age to 21. So that meant that you could only
18,
drink when you're in college.
Right. 18 is high. You graduate from high school, you'll be 18.
Yeah.
At least.
So these very puritanical laws that have sort of destroyed the actual substance of what they were trying to do. Look at you want to talk about prohibition. The way that prohibition ended up was creating worse and worse.
Yeah.
The gangs came out of that.
The word moonshine didn't exist until prohibition. Because as soon as prohibition came along,
the moon was still there.
Yeah, the moon was still there.
The moon shone sometimes, Wayne. I'm sure there was moonshine before.
No, but what I'm saying is when it came to
they don't know, it's too cloudy there.
He's never seen the moon. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm so sorry. He's never seen a full moon except when there's fucking werewolves.
But
you know what I'm saying?
Werewolves of London.
All right.
Can we flip back to Sweden, because this is Jartan's point, and we need to hear more about. We do need as a.
Well, I had something to say before you reintroduce us.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Can I have my turn? Thanks.
Yep, go on.
Host, Dick, broke back bitch. Got him. Yeah. I can be extra vulgar with Wayne because he enjoys it. I can't get out of this full screen.
All the way.
But I hear what Shartan's saying, because is this new for you guys? Have you guys always had a crime, a drug underground thing going in Sweden?
Oh yes, it's always been. It's just that it's very different now because as we talked about with the immigration and the segregation in our country, we have creating subgroups, right? Mm-hmm. Earlier, a lot of it went through organized. It was also through organized crimes, but it was organized crime with a code,
right?
Right, okay. Like the Hells Angels or
Yakuza.
That's kind of what I was talking about here in Chicago. There was street gangs and they dealt drugs and all that stuff. But there wasn't like babies getting shot up every fucking weekend.
No.
You know what I mean?
So,
like a couple of people were hooked on drugs. That's terrible. I'm not trying to make that any less of it. But we're getting the same thing with massive amounts of bloodshed, and that's the difference that we're trying to point out.
Yeah. So back in the 90s, we had like a biker war in Norway, Sweden, Denmark, when the Hells Angels and Bandidos trying to get a foothold, and there were sort of territory wars going on. But at least they just shot each other, right?
Right.
They didn't drag 13-year-olds out and tried to shoot them. Yes, and they did try to assassinate some judges and lawyers.
Right.
Sad to say, like regular organized crime stuff, but there was still a code to it. Like you didn't go after family. You didn't go
right.
All right, like the Hells Angels or as you said, like a lot of these organized crime organizations would never use kids as foot soldiers. Not. But that code of honor is gone. That code of not going after family, it's gone, right? And that's something new.
Yeah.
We're used to
that's the scary part.
We're used to there being some sort of honor among thieves and drug dealers and gangs and organized crimes.
Yep.
And now that honor code is just tossed out the window, and it's happened probably gradually behind the curtains, but now it's like
the pimples over the surface.
Like 11 people in 1 month, 13, 19, 23, 18, 24. Like,
wow.
These are people just starting off their lives.
Right.
Can you time scale it though? Can you like pinpoint a place in time where you really noticed the escalation?
Sometime last summer, I think.
Really? That recent?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Because, well, I think the escalation really started, even though it went unnoticed to me, about 10 years ago when we had a police reform, where everything got more centralized around the big cities. A lot of the local police offices were closed.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but what happened sometime last year was that the heat on the drug gangs starting to get in the big cities, starting to get quite hard. But half the country lives further north in rural areas, and there's quite a big market for drugs there as well. But there were, small local gangs handling all of that market. So the big gangs went like, fuck, we want a part of that because the heat down here is too big.
So they got pushed out of the big cities. So now they're out in the rural areas.
They didn't. Yeah, the heat was just too big. Like the risk was too big. So moving up north and into the rural areas was just safer for them. But of course, those people.
There's competition.
But the people who've been handling that market for the last 20 years wasn't just going to go, yeah, come on, take our livelihoods from us.
Right.
Yeah.
The competition was they're not making the same amount of money or, not having the same amount of customers that you have, forces you to find other ways to get it. And if somebody's, if somebody has the right kind of place and the right kind of people, that's where they all want to be.
And
also,
sorry, can I just quickly say
last thing? It might also be that it was just about greed. Like they just wanted to expand. They wanted to own the entire Swedish market.
And I wanted to interject with this for people that don't know. Norway and Sweden are very sparsely populated countries, but they're very long. Yeah. So, like, if
that's what she said.
London, there's like 9 million people that live in London. And when it comes to Sweden, I think that's the entire population.
10.
Am I right?
Yeah.
10.
10 million.
Yeah,
10
get
million.
it right.
No, 10
Sorry.
people.
10 people.
Half of
But Norway is about 5, and so is Denmark.
10 families.
So what
There's
I'm
10
saying
houses.
is,
They're all in a row.
Same street.
when it comes to the population density, it is very spread out and not what you would think. Like, because the West always lionizes the Nordic countries, always. But
We always what?
lionize
Lionize.
yeah, as in like look at them and say this is the perfect population.
Speaking
And
the king's English over there. Lionize.
Well, by the way, well done for catching yourself, and you didn't say the Queen's.
Pretty good, ain't I?
I respect that. But
Chuck ain't my king.
for hearing
Liz, my girl.
for hearing what Jartan has just said, I'm shocked by that, because when you think about that in the grand context of that country, having that number of casualties is shocking. That's what we would expect in London alone.
Yeah. Population-wise, that would be 11 murders within a gang war in 1 month.
Yeah.
In London.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shocking.
So...
sorry, go on.
No, and it's just... Something needs to be done. I don't have the answer. I'm glad to say I'm not the one who's going to provide it, but what we're doing and what we have been doing, it's not working. We need to do something else, and we need to do it pretty fucking fast. And I don't think that closing the border and putting the military on the streets is the answer, right?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I think that is a recipe for an absolute fucking disaster.
If you want a war, that's how you start a war.
We've already given the police, like, we've got our own Patriot Act now.
Oh, wow.
Really?
It begins.
Yes.
Wow.
The police they can, without having a tangible suspicion of a crime, right? They don't have to have a reasonable suspicion to go to a judge and say, we want to read all of his texts and listen to his phone calls, right? We have a fucking Patriot Act now. It's just fucking ridiculous, right? Haven't we learned anything from fucking history? No, we fucking haven't. We just cracking on like it's the first time this has ever happened. We need to look at, yes, there's a lot of things wrong with the US, but you also got a lot of shit right over the years.
Every once in a while.
We're learning. It's a slow process, but
a stop clock.
we can learn. We can learn.
Quiet, Stabby.
Yeah.
So we need to learn from the things that you did right.
Right.
The first thing we did was we got rid of the Europeans, right?
Oh,
yeah, that's why you always go around saying I have Danish, German, and UK heritage. You absolute fucking twats.
Oh,
I'm American, Jordan.
Are you not Irish today?
hold on.
Brenna's not Irish for once.
I've never met.
She's turned into
I've never met an American who didn't. A white American that hasn't been very proud of their European heritage.
Yeah, because it's white. We're white.
Uh-oh.
Right, we're white.
Yeah, waving the white flag over there.
Yeah, we got.
AKA surrender. AKA.
Oh,
we're just so great.
Right.
Just like white.
We
learned from the UK that you just have to take other people's heritage and make it your own.
I'm just going to open this can and just leave these worms all over the place.
But on the note of heartbreak, another thing I read broke my heart. Mikey, can you take my last picture up?
Yes. I have it here.